more numbers. It has been a hectic edition of Closing Bell, really. Revenue coming in for Cipla, which is slightly above estimates, just about 200 crores, I think, above estimates. The EBITDA line also looks good. It is above the poll, at least for now. The stock's reacting immediately to those numbers. And there comes the margin profile, and that's also beaten estimates quite handsomely, 100 basis points above the poll. So this looks like a top-down beat from Cipla. We'll get Ekta in just a bit and also get some analysts in. But for the time being, the stock is reacting quite smartly to the update coming through. We have Ekta with us. Ekta, this is looking good, right from the word go, right? Top line down?
Yes, absolutely. Well, good performance which is coming for Cipla, especially for the margins. It's coming at around 23%. The street was anticipating 21 to 22 odd percent. And the street was worried that they won't be able to break beyond that 22% level. So definitely a good performance which is coming for Cipla in terms of the margins. The consolidated revenue, double-digit growth over 15%. So around 17 to 18% on a year-on-year basis is what they've reported in terms of revenue growth as well. So I think it's definitely a top-down beat which has come through for Cipla, and as you can see, the stock is reacting quite positively. Now you need to put the numbers into context as well, because remember, the street has been worried about a lot of overhangs with regards to Cipla, such as Advair generic, which is one of their key inhalers, being delayed because they have faced regulatory issues at their Indore facility. So in that background, a strong set of numbers despite the delay in Advair generic, despite the overhang of the Indore facility, is definitely a positive. Now, one of the things which has probably aided them is also the contribution of cancer drug Revlimid generic. Remember that many companies have been selling the generic version of that particular drug in the US markets based on certain limited volumes, which they can till 2026. Cipla has probably benefited from that, as well as the other drugs that it has in its portfolio, including, and this comes at a time where they have been losing market share in their inhaler albuterol. So overall, definitely a good performance. India has always been a strong market for Cipla, and maybe the respiratory franchise has really worked for them this quarter. So that is something that the street would watch out for. We'll wait for the geographical segment, but nonetheless, margins have come in at probably a multi-quarter high at around 23 odd percent, with revenue growth at over 17% on a year-on-year basis. Strong performance which is filtered down to the profit for Cipla.
Okay, all right, Ekta, thanks a lot for that. Well, we have Cinderella Carvalho who joins us as well on the show. Hi, Cinderella, good afternoon. We're getting news that Cipla, the numbers are looking good, and it's a top-down beat. The margins have come in at around 23.5%, which is a multi-quarter high, I believe. Your first take on it?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a margin beat on our numbers as well. We were at 22.6% for the quarter. But of course, I think, we have to see if there is any other element in terms of that we need to consider. However, my belief is this could be driven by a better domestic and ROW rather than a US number. But we are yet to see the US numbers.
Okay. So, Cinderella, in terms of key drugs in the US, what do you think worked for Cipla?
See, in terms of our understanding, we were expecting some tepidness in the albuterol segment specifically, given the trends that we were seeing in the Symphony data, Bloomberg Symphony data. However, in my mind, I think the laryngtide and the other drugs are doing very well for them. And that is why we are seeing these numbers. So the idea is that definitely Revlimid is helping everybody. We are expecting better numbers even for Reddy's this time. So Revlimid is one of the factors. But apart from that, I think the base business has some support from the new launches, which are also ramping up faster.
I just wanted to come in on the margins, because I think the street would like the fact that the margins have come in at over 23% for Cipla this time. Do you think that this kind of margin performance is sustainable for them in the context of US price pressure, Advair generic probably seeing delays, and the Indore regulatory issues?
No, I don't see that these margins may sustain. I believe that the margins could taper down a bit, at least given that, there will be some higher expenses on the remediation side as well from Indore, as well as we will see some bit of impact of Indore into US numbers. and overall higher R&D spend that we are expecting. So we believe that margins may taper down a bit instead of, going ahead.
Okay, well, Cinderella, thanks very much. We'll pick up on this later, but thank you for the first cut reaction coming through on Cipla. Stock spiked and it's maybe stalling a little bit, but just very early.